Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Grand Blue Tech Profile. Sorry for not posting in a long time. I am very busy with school and whatnot, and transfers and whatnot. So sorry about that. But let's get right into the deck profile. Starting Vanguard, we're running the card from the trial deck. So his skill, Grand Blue, they got a new skill called Hollow. It's their keyword, and what that means is whenever a unit is called to the rearguard circle with the hollow ability, you can have it become hollowed, and if it becomes hollowed, then it gets they can activate some conditions. For example, this card skill is Generous Pick 1. If this card is hollowed, if it's put to the rearguard circle, to the drop zone, then you can counter charge 2. Also, if the unit, the hollowed unit, if you choose to hollow the unit, then he will get retired at the end of the turn. So basically, it's kind of like Magia, except not really. But yeah, hollowing a unit, gives you extra benefits versus not hollowing. But then, of course, your unit dies. So depends on what you want. All right, so for grade 3s, we're running 4 Nightrose. Nightrose's skill is once per turn, Generous Rec 2. The cost is to mill the top 3 cards of your deck to the drop zone, and then whenever a rearguard is put to the drop zone, you may pay the cost. If you do, you can call that card into the rearguard circle, onto the rearguard circle. So basically, every turn they hollow and die, you can call it out again, which is not super useful. It might be if you want to intercept or something, but for the most part, it's not needed. It's pretty good against retiring decks though, because you can keep a unit that way. And yeah, so also her strike break skill is kind of lost one. Once during this turn, if the G unit shots on top of this card, you will pay the cost. You do choose the unit in drop zone and call to a rearguard circle, and then it gets plus 2,000 power. So yeah, this card doesn't have the hollow skill, but it's kind of like Harry, except I mean, I guess the hollow mechanic and the Magia mechanic are pretty different, so I'll just leave that alone. But next, we're running 2 Cocytus Reverse. This is mainly to prevent people from grade locking you, because this deck is very Generation Break heavy, but there are cards that don't rely on Generation Break in this deck, and this card kind of helps with that. Also, he has a Shrine that's pretty good, so taking in 2. Skill is Limit Break 4. Mill the top 3 cards of your deck to the drop zone, and then choose one of your Grand Blue rearguards and lock it. And if you have, you can choose one of your Grand Blue cards in your drop zone and call it to a rearguard circle, and then that unit gets plus 3,000 power. And you don't need to worry about his other skills, because they don't apply for this deck. So yeah, Cocytus, he's alright. You can run a Night Storm if you don't have any Cocytus, but Cocytus is okay. And then next we're running 2 of the Gust Dragon. So he has the hollow skill, and then his Generous Pick 1 skill is activates from the rearguard circle, and you can mill the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop zone, and then when this unit attacks, it gets plus 2,000 power, and if this unit is hollowed, it gets 5,000 power. So pretty good. I believe he gets the 3,000 and the 5,000 if he is hollowed. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Don't need to run more than 2, because your drop zone is toolboxable. and you can just put it in there with King Ghosty if you want. So the second skill is a Counterless one. Choose one of your grade 2 or above rear guards and kill it, and then you can call this card to a rear guard circle. So pretty much you can have him eat something, and then you can res him from the drop zone. It's pretty cool. So yeah, him being a 19k attacker is pretty strong. 19k attacker, yeah. Next for grade 2s, we're running 3 Rune Shade. Rune Shade skill is middle of the top 2 cards of your deck. When he attacks, you might pay the cost. If you have a Ground Blue Vanguard, he gets plus 2000 power. So mainly used for early game mills, and he's one of the cards that don't require you to have Generation Break. So you have a decent attacker that's not Generation Break restricted, so that is okay. Next, running 3 Negro Lazy. Also, he has the Hollow skill. And skill is Countless 1, so lost 1. If this card is called to the rear guard circle, if you have a Nightrose Vanguard, you might pay the cost. If you do, choose a card in your drop zone that's not this card and call it to a rear guard circle. Or it has to be a grade 2 or below and call it to a rear guard circle. And then during this turn, that unit gets plus 2000 power and a new skill. And the skill is if this card is hollowed, then when it's put to the drop zone, you can kind of charge 1 and soul charge 1. So basically his cost becomes negated, so it's pretty good. Not running 4 because he's toolboxable with Ghosty, so that is that. And then next we're running 3 of the trial deck card. Negro Rook, something like that. Skill is he also has a hollow skill. When this card attacks, it gets plus 2000 power during that battle, and if this card is hollowed, it gets another 5000 power. So it becomes a 16k attacker. Pretty strong. Yeah, works similarly to this guy, except he has a bit more stuff, but this card's a trial deck card, so you can't expect too much. But yeah, him being a 16k attacker is quite good. Next, we're running 2 of the key cards from the trial deck. Counterless 1 when this card attacks. Generation Break 1, Counterless 1 when this card attacks. If this card's being boosted, you can choose a card in your drop zone and call it to a rear guard circle. So yeah, he's okay for chain attacking. If you want to chain attack, you can go ahead and do that, because calling this card out, you can hit a nice 16k. So him attacking by himself is actually not a problem. Or you can have him attack first, and then have this thing behind him unboosted, and then call another one, so that you can swing for an even bigger number. Pretty good like that. Next, we're running 2 of the rare from the booster set. I think his name is Negrobone. His skill is rear guard circle, Generation Break 1, Counterless 1. At the end of the battle, that this card boosted a rear guard. If you have a rear guard, or if you have a Vanguard with Nightrose in its name, then you may pay the cost. If you do, you can retire the boosted unit and choose a card from your drop zone with the hollow ability and call it to a rear guard circle. So again, you can either call him or him, because Gas Dragon hits pretty big. They both hit for regularly a 10k shield, so pretty good targets. And then next, we're running 2 of this. He also has a hollow ability. This thing does not have the hollow ability though. Skill is Generation Break 1. When this card is called to the rear guard circle, if this card has the hollow ability, you can search for a card in your deck and put it in the drop zone, and then shuffle your deck. If this card does not have the hollow ability, then you can just build a top card of your deck. So most of the time you're gonna call him with the the hollow ability, so that is usually not a problem. But yeah, I believe his name is Despair Running Zombie or something like that. But yeah, he's pretty good because if you don't get all the cards that you wanted with Ghosty, then you can use him instead. Yeah, not much else to say. Next, we're running to Siege Rolling Banshees. Skill is Soul Last 1. When this card's called from the drop zone to a Vanguard circle, if you're Grand Blue Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you do draw a card. So she's a very basic draw, Soul Last 1 draw card, similar to Dindrain and the Angel. Except there's reasons why you might not want to call this sometimes, because she does not have the hollow ability. So you're gonna have to call on top of her if you want to get rid of her, or you can use some other skills to get rid of her. But yeah, and she's also 6k, so yeah, but maybe you might want to call her back Vanguard. Depends. Next, running for Ghosty Brothers. He's a Stride Fodder. And running 4 Pro Guards. Trigger line, I'm running a crit, 4 draw. Some people don't like running draws in Grand Blue, but they only become a hindrance when you make really greedy plays. Otherwise, draws are okay. You gotta watch out, how many times you mill. If you have a good enough drop zone, you might not want to mill anymore, so that's the thing. And then running 4 heals. So let's get into the G zone. God, I'm tired. I just finished doing an assignment, so excuse me if I sound a little tired, as usual. Next, running for the G zone, running a great Ghosty King Odaiba, I think his name is. Skill is when this card's placed on a Vanguard circle, if you can search your deck for 3 cards and put them in the drop zone, and if at least two of the units that you put in the drop zone have the hollow ability, then you can choose a card in a drop zone with the Ghosty ability, with Ghosty name. That's a normal unit, and you can call it in the same column as this card. So a lot of times, what you're gonna do is have this card behind, and then you're gonna stride with a Ghosty, and then you just call on top of this card, so that this card becomes active, because he only activates when he's called from the drop zone, or when he becomes hollowed. So not really much use aside from that. And if your opponent retires him for some reason, then congrats. But if not, then you can just call on top of it. It's no big deal. Next, running 1 Blue Heart. Blue Heart is mainly to be used if you want to reset your field for some reason, and you already have all the stuff that you need in your drop zone. So then you don't need to stride Ghosty King. Most of the time you will stride Ghost into him, but he's in here just because. Blue Heart skill is Counter Loss 1. Choose 2 cards in your drop zone and call them into occupied rearguard circles. So basically you're going to have to call on top. So he's a good target, and Banshee is also a good target. For example, if you drew into a Banshee, then you can call her out, so you can have her replaced with something that might be more useful if you call it in a hull state. Next, we're running one of the something rum. Use a card from the trial deck. Skill is when this card attack hits, you can choose a card in your drop zone and call it to a rearguard circle, and then this card gets plus 2,000 power. You have a lot of options for your first stride, which is kind of nice. If you don't want to have this many options, then you can restrict it to running more ghosties, or running more of this if you want. I know a lot of people don't like running Blue Heart, but you know, he's nice to have. And then running one Cocytus negative, because we are running Cocytus, so we have options to run to stride into this if we manage to ride into him. Skill is once per turn, kind of lost one. Build the top 3 cards of your deck, and then on your turn, if you have a Cocytus Heart, you can choose a card in your drop zone. Choose one card in your drop zone and call it. If you have a Cocytus, if the unit you called is a Cocytus unit, then you can choose a great one in your drop zone and call it to your Vanguard circle, and that unit gets plus 4,000 power. So he is okay, because if you manage to ride into Cocytus, you have to kind of last one to call something out, which is kind of like Nightrose. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just an option to have. Not the best card, but he's not absolutely horrible. So yeah, there's that. And next, running 4 of the Grade 4 Nightrose. Obviously, she is pretty good. Most of the time, you'll be using her for your second stride. Her skill is Generation Break 2, kind of lost 2. G-Flip Nightrose, specifically her. And when this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 cards in your drop zone and then call them into a front row and back row Vanguard circle. So you're going to be calling a new column. So basically, you get a new column to attack with. So this is pretty cool. You can do a lot. You can make a lot of plays with her, actually. Pretty good finisher. But yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry, I'm just really tired. It's getting late, and I need to continue doing my assignments. So I guess I'll see you guys maybe next week. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.